I grew up in the Darling Downs in Toowoomba and had a little bit of experience of rural towns, but not a lot. In those days, driving out to Dalby was a long way, and going to Roma was a very long way. My family migrated from India when I was 6, went to Toowoomba. My father came from a very middle-class Indian family of engineers. My mum from a very poor background. She was one of 11 who grew up in the war. So we certainly knew what it was like to do without. I liked people and communicating with people. Sounds a cliche, because I did play with law for a while because I liked words, but actually the ability to work with people was really something. I had a government scholarship. I was bonded. In my case, I got 2 years of support from the government, and in return I had to give 2 years of service. One of those was my internship in Brisbane. The second was in the bush. And I was carrying around a map of Queensland because I was going to go one of these towns. I think we were given a list and Richmond was 35 or 37 on the list. I'd never actually heard of it. And they rang back and said, "You're going to Richmond," and my heart sank for about half an hour. And it turned out to be one of the best things that ever happened to me. I went there for a year. 1 year turned into 6. Found it a challenge, being there in my second year out and having to do everything. But you learnt a lot, and the community really embraced us and embraced me and my family, Wendy, my wife. But I think I also formed a love of the bush, the natural beauty of the bush and the people of the bush, and that's probably influenced the rest of my career. I moved to Townsville to take up a position in medical education. In those days, that was 1993, medical education was still very much based in big cities. So I was involved in postgraduate training for general practice in Townsville. One of the things I tell our students is every opportunity, just take it. You never know where it will lead, and sometimes the things that you weren't expecting or weren't planning actually give you a fantastic door to go through, and then more doors open. I specialise in dad jokes, so my kids say, "Dad, the students think you're so interesting, we think you're so boring." But I like cooking, like entertaining. It has to have chilli in it. Too much chilli just isn't enough. I've been involved with the Rural Doctors Association of Queensland, RDAQ, ever since it was formed, and I've been involved ever since and been to 25 or 28 conferences. So the foundation evolved out of the Rural Doctors Association of Queensland after the floods in 2011, and it's been great to see it blossom and grow over that time. I think there's so much we can do and so many good ideas, and I think empowering people in communities. For example, we've seen a yoga program run out of rural communities for rural people, run over Zoom. And those simple ideas, I think, can equalise access. So if you looked at the really big challenges we face in terms of health, rural and remote health is absolutely up there. So I guess I'd like to see equity and equality when rural health outcomes are the same, the workforce is the same, and so in fact you'll wind up with city doctors wanting to go to the bush because the work is better and the lifestyle is better.